We're joined by SAPU, the National Spokesperson, Lesiba Thobakgale. Very good evening to you, Lesiba. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, a workshop that we're learning there from Minister Mchunu aimed at addressing pressing matters affecting the SAPS workforce. How effective could it be?
Thank you so much for having us, and greetings to your viewers. We clearly welcome that workshop. It was long overdue because the issues of mental health, the issues that deals with the conditions of service, which ultimately also has an effect on the mental health of the members of SAPS, they are indeed long overdue. So we are saying that this workshop, we hope that it will really bring quite stringent measures to address all issues that relates to the work that police are doing. As we know, police officers all the time, they're expected to execute their constitutional mandate. It doesn't matter whether they are overwhelmed, whether they've got trauma, because the nature of the job itself, it is traumatic. Imagine you have to go sit and attend different types of crime scenes where people have been killed. You attend very gruesome accidents. That on its own, definitely it will really affect you mentally. But if you don't get support, more especially in terms of debriefing and also the necessary support after that debriefing, when a member finishes their shift, then it means that members will end up carrying that trauma home. And that is what at a later stage, it brings a lot of problems when that trauma then erupts at that time, because it would have been bottled for a longest time. So as a stakeholder, we are part of that workshop, and we clearly welcome the initiative that the Minister, the National Commissioner, and the management have taken in this regard. And we hope that the inputs that are being given there indeed will be taken to heart. I mean, the Minister spoke clearly about the issue of promotions. How can one wait for around 12 to 14 years for them to go to the next rank? There is no upward mobility. That on its own, definitely it affects them financially, but also it takes a toll on the issue of mental health of the workers who are within the South African police services.
Lesiba, as you speak about the issue of promotion, what impact do you believe an emphasis on performance management could have on efforts to foster a culture of accountability and motivation within the SAPS?
Motivation, the morale is quite important in doing this work, because remember, if you have a high morale upon your workers, if your workers indeed are happy with the conditions of service, they are happy about their salaries, they are happy about the benefits that they are getting, they are happy about their upward mobility, then the outcome that the service would clearly get, and leading to the services that our communities are receiving, it will then even be so much, it will improve the quality thereof, and even the efficiency will improve. That is a reality. So that all of these issues that we are raising, they indeed have a negative impact when it comes to the issue of the morale of the police. So we really need to resolve the issue of the morale. And the morale, it really, it is indeed about dealing firstly with the conditions of service and anything else that has to deal with mental health, more especially when it comes to capacitating the employee health and wellness component, so that our members are able to be debriefed. Our view is that they are intertwined. You have to deal with the conditions of service. You have to deal with their daily challenges that they are faced with, to say ultimately before they could go back home, they've spoken to somebody who's a professional. They were able to cough out whatever that it is there, that has indeed troubled their minds. And we agree that it is a fact that police officers or the members of SAPS are human beings. They also need to be treated as such. They need to be treated with care. They are not still, so they need indeed to also get a very strong support when it comes to the issues of debriefing, looking at the nature of the job, and even the police killings that we are seeing. I mean, some of our members, their partners whom they work with, they get shot along with them, they lose their life. Some of them, they themselves, they get stabbed, they get shotted, they get attacked by the members of society. I mean, we've seen the police station attacks a number of times. So that trauma really stays with them. And if we don't address it adequately, if we don't address it immediately, not leaving it to, to bottle up, we'll end up having crisis. And later we hear the issues of domestic violence. We hear the issues of where one has has taken a firearm and shot their partner. But we don't care to look at what is the real cause that we need to address. We need to really address the root cause and not just come at a later stage and be talking about what we see as the end product.
Other areas I understand that were touched on within the workshop are reviewing housing benefits, allowances, as well as career progression and the overall working conditions. Where have the areas of concern been around those areas?
You could remember the issue of the danger allowance. I mean, the service allowance within the SABC has been 400 for over 20 years, since 2001, when the most allowances were collapsed into one allowance. It has been standing at 400 without any growth. And when it took a little bit of growth around 2023, it only went to 700. And currently, we are pleased that through the negotiations within the Public Service Coordinating Bargaining Council, which is the PSCBC, within the draft that is being signed. I mean, we signed that draft. We are touching on the conditions of service that speaks to that service allowance, that at least it must be linked now to go above around 920 and at least linked to the CPI, that issue of the service allowance, which clearly means that it will be growing. So that is one area. And when you look at the danger itself, even that amount, it is really not sufficient, but at least it is a step in the right direction that we are moving, that we are trying to fight for our members in regards to that. The issues of housing, it is sad when you look at how police officers would go and not have adequate housing. They would some of them, they are renting shacks, some of them they are renting back rooms, whereas the state could clearly have a vehicle that they could utilize to make sure that they have adequate housing and decent housing, so that after a stressful job, a stressful day, you can be able to say you are going to a comfortable accommodation. That is still a challenge, and we still need to work on that. I mean, there are efforts that are being made, but they are really taking quite a long time. And we hope that we would move with speed, and government would really assist in this process, so that adequate housing can be there for our members. And as well, we need to there's also issues around our Public Service Act members, whom they themselves, they haven't seen movement in terms of them progressing to the next rank. They stay for a long time, and there has been an agreement that was signed in 2011 which spoke of incorporating them into the Police Act, but that agreement has since not been implemented. And we are saying that we really need to resolve that issue, to say, if the SAPs, they are saying that they cannot implement it, what other avenues can we look at that we can implement that can really show their growth as well, because they are there to give support to the Police Act members who are there on the streets protecting us, who are there to make sure that we are kept safe. So even the support staff, all issues, their conditions of service are also quite important.
Thank you so much, Lesiba. Thank you for your time. We're going to have to leave it there for now. SAPU National Spokesperson Lesiba Thobakgale.